guess you put Collingwood behind you,
Yep.
have you, Jed? So looking ahead of Freo, what sort of challenge do they provide in your eyes?
Oh, great opportunity for us. Last game at home for the year, and we haven't got near them for 3 games at least now anyway. So I think we're only averaging 4 goals maybe against them in 3 games. So great opportunity for a young group to, I guess, try and go out with a bang at the Gabba. So yeah.
When you've played your best footy, you've probably, as we saw on Saturday night, you take the game on.
Yep.
Was that something you
you have to. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. If you allow Freo to set their defence, it's almost impossible to get through. So you need to, be a bit bold with your ball movement and take it on. We've got nothing to lose anyway, really. So I imagine that will be the game plan going in, and see how it goes.
How do you get that message through? I imagine that if you 1 or 2 turnovers and people, especially young guys, going to their shells. How do you
can. You just got to, keep enforcing that. Stick to the game plan. That's what we're going to try and do. Hopefully, our defence on the other end, which has been pretty good over the 3 out of the 4 weeks, has been really good. So hopefully, our defence can hold up as well. Even if we are turning the ball over, we can close them out pretty quick and stop them from scoring. So our defence has been one of our best parts of our game this year. So we'll continue to enforce that, but our offence, hopefully, by taking the game on, will come into its own.
Just on your young fellas, we've heard a lot about them. I guess it's been half your team for half the year. How have you seen them progress, and how much do you think they've come along your first and second year players?
Yeah, they have a lot. I guess if you look from the first half of the year to the second half of the year, you can purely go by win-loss if you really wanted to, and look how the groups progress. I think the whole group's progressed from learning new structures, new game plan, new styles, getting to know each other on the field and how they play, and just consistent in our training, in our games, the way we set up and that. So, ideally, you probably didn't want to play all the young guys at one hit, but we're probably forced to a certain degree. But they've been some of our best players all year, and they continue to improve, and they want to improve as experience comes on, especially big games like on the weekend. Another big game this weekend.
Obviously, the expansion clubs are the ones we hear about with the young talent,
Yep.
Gold Coast, GWS, even Collingwood.
Yep.
Is it nice that people are starting to recognise the talent that you guys have brought into the club?
It is, yeah, it is. I guess you get the rising stars, and that you don't really hear a lot up here in Brizzy about it. It's nice to see that there's a bit of talk about Louis Taylor maybe winning the rising star, and I think for a first-year player, I think he's the only first-year player to play every game. And consistently play, well, being our, probably be top 10 in our best and fairest. So, but it's good to see that the other blokes are getting recognition. Jono Freeman, first academy player for the Lions, to really kick a good bag of goals and play well in the MCG against Collingwood. So, and I think you're slowly seeing that people are starting to recognise the young guys in our footy club, which is nice.
Particularly with the bigger guys, has there been any surprise in their progress? Jono Freeman, Michael Close, McStay, Gardner. Are you surprised that they've shown what they have, I guess, so early in their career? Or is it
not really, no. I guess a lot of them have been early draft picks, and once again, they've been thrown into the deep end a little bit. So it's probably nice to see that they've been able to contribute in some way. Jono's probably one, being a Queensland boy that probably hasn't, he said on the weekend it was his first time he's been in the MCG. So when you look at it from that aspect, it's nice to see that he's probably made the most development out of any of the young guys. But in saying that, they've all can continue to develop over the years. So.
Yeah. And just one on Stephen Martin.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been spoken about a lot. From your perspective, what difference has he made? I guess the impact he's had, but the influence he's had on the midfield group and what you've been able to achieve since he's come in.
I guess we've now had the luxury that he's probably turned out to be another midfielder. He doesn't always win the hitouts, but his around the ground stuff's just been enormous. For a bloke that halfway through the year was probably sitting on the fence and you weren't sure which way it was going to go, for him to really get an opportunity when Westy went down, so it wasn't even there, it was probably given to him, and then he's just grabbed it with 2 hands and run away with it. So it's now, I guess you're now looking at whether him and Louis are going to play in the same team, or how their relationship's going to fit next year. So, but I think it's exciting for the footy club to see that and where that can progress to. So, and I think it's helped. I think Steph's helped the midfield in being able to find more ball themselves. He's been able to link the play and get the other midfielders involved.
Another massive challenge for him with Sandilands this week.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he can hurt him around the ground?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The key that what Freo and how they use Sandilands is being able to slow your ball movement, which forces you to then kick long. And Sandilands being 7 foot, pretty much, it's hard to beat him in those contests. So you'd think Steph would try and run him a little bit more and be used as an extra midfielder, which he's been able to do through the last 8 weeks. So.
There's plenty of talk about Crowley, who he might go to. Has the team tried to take more of a team approach to Tigers? Like the guys are doing able to break them a bit better this year?
I think the last few weeks they have. Haven't been in the midfield a great deal, so I can't comment too much on what's actually happening in there. But I think you'll see there's probably been more of a share of the workload in there, which is making it difficult for the Tigers to, pinpoint one bloke to go to. I think you saw on the weekend, Zorks was getting away early, so after half time, McCaffrey went from Pearce to Zorks, and then Pearce had a great second half. So. And Rocky just, racks up 40 touches most weeks. So, that's the good thing about our midfield at the moment. They've been able to find a lot of the ball and hurt opposition going the other way.
Is that going to be the key going forward, having a midfield where you almost roll the dice on who you take?
I think that's the key to most great midfielders in the AFL is that I guess they're your engine room. That's where most of your, grand finals are won from your engine room. So. The more quality midfielders you have, it's harder it is for the opposition. So I think once you get Redden and Rich and Lauenberger back, as we spoke about, if they can get their game up and going, it would be a nice look for our club.